You wanna know about us? Seems like everyone does these days. It's simple. Too much money and too much power is held by just a few people. And it's only getting worse. So, we decided to do something about it. Let's go.
Designer socks too, I got the swag crew. It's a haiku, I'm something like you. Might drink and drive too, work 9 to 5s when I was in high school. These shoes here don't come out till June. This my pick, I'll crop you. Married to the game, set my I do's. Got a window seat like Erykah Badu.
PlayStation.
Could she really be here, waiting for me? Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore. I'm ready.
PlayStation.
Witness nears the final shape.
It might have been a nightmare.
It's reshaping reality into a perfect stillness.
Really wanna
I'm done burying my friends.
It's the end of everything. Might as well try to stop it.
One last step. Together. Into the end.
This place.
It's hard to describe. An infection. Festering.
You said it spoke to you.
So what's the difficulty?
The witness shows us what it thinks we want. It's a
I
lie.
had a dream.
Light bearer. Let us lift the weight of suffering. Join us.
Zavala, please, don't do this.
I had a dream. Got everything I need. Not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare.
Nobody makes my fate but me.
I had a dream.
Welcome to Drawbridge, Sam. And to the GHV Magellan, our mobile base of operations. Come on, I'll help you get your bearings. This is the ship's armory. Here you can check your weapons and put them through their paces. These rooms over here belong to other members of the crew. They're pretty much the same as yours. And the shower's down at the end.
This is one hell of a ship you got here. Courtesy of the UCA, I'm guessing.
No. As I told you, Drawbridge is a civilian outfit. But we do have a generous patron with access to plenty of capital and tech.
Sounds like a UCA big shot.
Don't ask me. We've never met face to face. They value their privacy.
Seriously? No better than to believe that bullshit.
It's the same deal as America. The people here are all spread out, cut off from one another. We want you to help us bring the world together.
Sam, would you mind if I joined you?
Humor him. His knowledge and experience will probably come in handy down the road.
Yes. Really, Sam? Your buttocks? What about shotgun? I prefer the driver's seat.
Sam, do you read me? You'll first need to access the Mexico side plate gate terminal. After we've confirmed network coverage, we can take the DHV Magellan and regroup at your position.
The problem is, not everybody wants to be part of the UCA.
That's not the plan, Sam. The UCA isn't looking to expand its borders. Just like with Mexico, they want to bring new regions into the network. Anyway, the DHV Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network.
What's your role in all this? You're the commander, huh?
That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only. You brought America together. Helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid that Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger. Still on the brink of extinction. Don't act like you don't see it. A lot of things changed after you went off on your own. Especially within the UCA. Bridges no longer oversees the distribution network. They withdrew once things were up and running. So your friends and co-workers all went their separate ways. Within network coverage, there's no need to rely on human porters anymore. So after I closed up shop, I went and started a new group. One that handles work in regions outside the UCA. We decided to call ourselves Drawbridge.
With the support of the Chiral Network and APAS, humanity will be free from the need to move around. Bots are capable of handling deliveries.
He's alive.
He called himself a ghost, but...
We found a way back from the beach just so he could kill us.
He said he came back to get revenge on you and me.
Hey, brother. Did you miss me? Yeah, I figured you'd pay this place a visit, seeing as how I've been distributing the fruits of this fine factory all over the continent. With guns and violence, the whole damn world could be yours. Same as it ever was. Oh. Looks like you decided to trade in that rope for a stick this go-round. Well, I suppose even a porter has to pull the trigger from time to time. Oh, what about you? Hey, buddy. Are you just another Soulless little husk, huh?
Let go of me! Pathetic guitarist. Where's the rest of your band?
Well, ain't that something? Was it you, Higgs? Huh? Was it you that killed Lou? You still don't know, do you?
Something he said. You don't know a goddamn thing about Lou.
All right, Sam. Let's see what we can find on Lou.
If you want answers, you're gonna have to find them yourself. But the ones you do find, well, that pain you nurse will only get worse. Sam the man in the dark about everything.
Don't forget, coming on this expedition was meant to help you find the strength to carry on. And you have. We all know you've got this. Now it's time to finish the journey, Sam. Please understand, Sam. We never meant to string you along.
That chrysalis, we found her inside. It was filled with a fluid that contained amino acids. One's identical in structure to the kind found in tar.
I'm sorry, there are amino acids in tar? As in proteins?
Of course. How else did you think that chiral creatures could emerge from it? Some have even theorized that the tar is a sort of primordial soup.
I was there. I saw her home. And it was a hellhole.
You see, after you left Bridges, I decided to do a little digging. Now, according to them, BB-28 was flagged for disposal and subsequently incinerated 4 years ago, long before you and Lou first met.
PlayStation.
Howdy, ho, hi. Welcome to GameSpot Stream. We're streaming.
We all streaming.
You and me both.
Me and you.
We're here to talk about something that's going to be happening in probably like 14 minutes, and that's the PlayStation State of Play, which feels more like a state of mind.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Like zen about this.
Yes.
I'm trying to go into the state of mind.
We're going to go into
this with a state of mind that I will probably not get the thing I want, but I will
couldn't imagine what that is.
God Hand remake for PlayStation 5. That is what I want.
I mean, there's a God Hand is only if God would give you a hand.
I'm gonna need a hand from God if that's gonna work. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, so State of Play, they kind of said they had. First off, I'm Kurt and Davina, by the way. I didn't even introduce us.
People know who you are.
No, they don't. They know who you are. So I don't have to. So with that said, I don't have to introduce you. So hey, I'm Kurt, everybody. I'm joined by a guy you already know.
Hello.
This is Timur Hussein, the resident gamer of GameSpot.
I'm the number one gamer. Yeah.
the GamerSpot.
Yeah.
So if you go to another website, it's gamerspot.com, and it's just gonna be
something else.
Timur Hussein. That's not true. Don't do that. So the thing is, we know the state of play. They gave us a general idea.
Yeah.
30 minutes. 30 minutes plus, which means like.
Just say the exact number of
32
time.
minutes.
Just say the exact number. Why you got to be like around? You know how long this is.
Yeah. If they say 30 minutes plus, that can insinuate it's
30 minutes and 1 second.
That means that could mean it could be an hour.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't. If it's like 3 hours long, I'm just gonna be like, what?
And we're gonna be sitting here the entire time, looking for the hand of God to get us to bring us to God hand. But the one thing they kind of made clear is that we're gonna be seeing 14 games, and that I assume includes PSVR2 titles.
Who knows? I mean, PSVR is basically a myth at this point. After they released it, they were like, "What? What are you talking about? We only made one of those."
Yeah. There's only one, and then I mean, for all it could be games that already exist with a little VR thrown on.
Yeah,
top.
it's very unclear what this is, whether this is going to be a focused kind of thing, because a lot of the others, like for example, using Nintendo as a kind of touch point, they have their directs and then they have their indie streams where it's clear the things that you're going to get. At one of their directs, chances are high that you're going to get a first party title, whereas Sony just does states of play. Sometimes they define it as being like, this is going to be VR games. Other times they just leave it open. So it's unclear what we'll get. If I had to guess, I imagine it will be a mix of a bunch of things, like a first party reveal or two, some of which have already leaked, and then some third party stuff, and then also maybe a couple of indie games here and there.
I mean, it's like 14 games for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like ba 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 ba. It's just gonna be a sizzle for.
I suspect that runtime will be taken up, majority of it, by like deep dives into specific games. Like imagine if Sony unveils a brand new first party title here, there's an impetus to be like, let's dig in a bit deeper to whet people's appetite for any events that come later on, or just make sure people go have some context for it. So, I expect we'll get like one game being, like a 3 or 4 minute long exploration of it, maybe in between the quick shot.
They'll flash VR.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll flash
subliminally. There's going to flash
2.
Yeah, exactly.
VR2.
And then at the end of it, people are going to be like, I think I should buy a PlayStation VR2. I'm not sure why.
Now's the time. They talked about this other game they announced. They talked about this God Hand remake, and all I want to do is get PlayStation VR2.
Yeah.
I do have to say, at least bring up that I think PlayStation has had a rocky couple of weeks in terms of being in terms of press. There's been a lot of ups and downs and wonky miscommunication. There's the Neil Druckmann quote that was kind of blown out of proportion, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, that's a Sony thing, not a PlayStation.
But it's all it's
it's one ecosystem, one company.
I'm not pointing the fingers just yet.
Yeah, I am.
Sony. Exactly. It's God Hand. But there's that. Of course, this is the ongoing layoffs that have happened this year, and then of course there was the PS Store leak with Destiny 2.
Yeah,
which. It's catastrophic. That's pretty lame.
That pretty sucks. Yeah, I mean, like it sucks for the developers who have been kind of lining up this perfect moment and release. I'm sure everyone who's played it thinks that it does not suck, and they're having a great time.
It's great for them.
Yeah, they're loving it.
But
you're right. Yeah, there is
it puts me in a state of mind.
Yeah, state
of play, because it's like you mentioned. You usually have a pretty clear idea of what Nintendo could be showing you. At least they set a pathway, like this is going to be the stuff, the first party stuff, or the indie stuff. And this time it's like, well, I have no idea what they're showing. And based off a lot of like just the perception over the past couple of days, it's just sort of like I don't.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation and Xbox are in a really precarious and interesting position right now, where these showcases aren't just an opportunity to showcase games. At least they might be coming into it, but us as the audience are expecting something on top of that, and that thing that we're expecting is a potential shift in tone, which both of them need to have right now.
Herman Hulst.
Yeah, exactly. Like PlayStation's various ups and downs over the last month, same as Xbox's with studio closures, the tone around both of those platform holders isn't the best right now. So I think a lot of us are coming into this being like, thinking about the kind of the stuff that's happened over the last week, and we're hoping, as well as games, there's like a shift in the tone of what PlayStation is right now into something a little more exciting, a little more hopeful, and a little more, positive going forward. That might be an unfair expectation for something that is probably not going to be able to account for a leak that happened this morning. But my hope is still we get some of that, where at the very least we go into the next couple weeks with more of a excitement around what lies in store for PlayStation, and whether that's through third party or first party titles, I don't really mind either way. I just want that kind of vibe to change a bit more, especially considering it's rough everywhere. And selfishly, we want to go into this E3 SGF period on the hype train instead of like kicking dirt walking down a road,
I think the funky thing that I always, so first off, I have like 0.0 expectations. I have no idea. I just don't know.
God hand.
Like I got hand. VR2, PSVR2 got hand. It's if anybody were to ask me like, Kurt, what are you looking for? You'd be like, I have no idea. I don't know. Like, but it's funny to hear your perspective and then also have me reflect on it in terms of like, I don't know. I don't even know what I would be excited for. But on the opposite hand of that, it's like Sony's just had the financial earning call, and they're like, it's like we're on our way to being this is the most successful generation we've had. Not quite. They're like a hair off, but they're basically on their way to doing that.
Yeah.
But the one interesting note was that like the purchase of games is actually down from what the PS4 was, and of course the idea or the perception of that is live service games are making more money than just now in such a way. So I say that because clearly they're doing great. Clearly there's going to be things that are going to excite people. It's just so hard for me to like predict and understand what that is based off the past, where it's like they're going to announce a new game, like a new thing, but I have no idea what that could be other than maybe a sequel. But we have 14 games to go over. So
I also feel like the success also has lined them up or set the stage for them to take a little more wilder swings. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be completely surprised if they announce some sort of like deeper PC integration, because PC has been a big part of their strategy now.
And a big thing they were just talking about.
And they were talking about it, and the whole thing is like, right now we're trying to figure out new ways to bring in people into the PlayStation ecosystem. And like it or not, one of the recent big dramas has been like the server requirements around games on PC. Started with Helldivers, and then various other games that have come out where it's like, this is a single player game. Why? Like, we don't know what that's building towards. It's hard to rationalize why that's happening. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point soon they're like, hey, we've got a PC marketplace or a PC overlay that lets you connect X, Y, Z. So although we have like 14 games to look forward to, there's also opportunities here for Sony to kind of lay out a new kind of angle on its overall business strategy going forward. I don't expect that to happen in a big way. It could just be a line here and there, but it is, like you said, it is an interesting thing to try and predict what is going to happen.
I think like you may have nailed it, because it's like, who knows what if this state of play wasn't for us console folk.
Maybe this is a PC state of play.
Maybe this is a PC state of play. We're like, guess what? We're coming to PC. Here's 14 titles that already exist. They already know about.
Minesweeper.
Yes, we're doing
Pinball.
Sony Solitaire, Sony Minesweeper, and you get to play in PSVR 2.
I would not like that at all.
What? I played like 5 hours of Solitaire
today.
Well, not yet. After this, during it, maybe I'll consider pulling out a deck. I don't need VR. I can do it in real life Solitaire. Actually, you know what? I have PlayStation themed cards. Like,
this gets worse with every moment you talk about it.
So I already have Sony Solitaire because I have my PlayStation themed playing cards. But you bring up a good point. I mean, it leads in a good point about hardware, because like another thing is like, I've been talking. There's been murmurs of a PS4 Pro. Or PS5 Pro.
PS4 Pro. There have been rumors about.
Rumors that the PS5
There's
Pro
rumors about somewhere out
finally
there
coming out. But what do you think about that?
I mean, like we are. It's interesting because they say that they are doing better than ever. So that would indicate that they still have momentum, and the need for a new revision usually comes as sales start to dip and in line with particularly high spending periods of the year.
But 50% of players are still on the PS4.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing where it's like there is good opportunity, or there's enough factors at play with the the install base for PS4 that still exists, that could mean that, oh, now's a good time to put out a discounted, or put out a new model and then discount the older one so that more people are adopting the PlayStation 5. Similarly, it could be that they look at it and they're like, you know what, we're going to hold this until the Christmas period or the Thanksgiving period, where we know people are going to be much more pliable when it comes to spending their money. Right now, people would be like, I could take it or leave it. My PS4 is working. But if it's like, now tis the season to spend money, they might be like, okay, cool, I'm definitely getting one right now. So that's definitely a distinct possibility. They have emphasized that we're gonna be looking at games here, but they have done it in the past where they've talked about we're gonna be looking at games, and it's like, and that will be available on PlayStation Portal, and you're like, what? Yeah. What is that? In terms of hardware, that isn't the only factor. Obviously, we talked about PlayStation VR a bunch of times. There's been murmurs about them figuring out a way of making it work on PC, which would be, it's a no-brainer.
It's yes.
Yeah, so there's a potential for them to take a moment to be like, and this will work on PC because we made this dongle. And on top of that, like this recent Sony financials, they mentioned specifically using hardware new to bring new audiences in, and phrased it in a way where it seem to suggest new hardware.
You know what brought a lot of people into PC gaming?
PlayStation VR.
Yeah, nothing got me into PC gaming like getting a PlayStation Vita. Now I'm just loading up all sorts of
remote play,
Microsoft Solitaire on my Vita. No, the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
the Steam Deck brought whether people are conscious of it or not. That was their gaming PC. Like that was like the big push. Like, here's this whole library of PC games that you weren't able to play in consoles. You can now play on the Steam Deck. And I feel like, how do you feel? Are we heading towards a Vita 2?
I think that where it's now more viable than ever. I think, especially given that the hardware needed to make a portable platform is less specialized now. The reason it was a big issue back in the day was because they're creating components and using hardware that is specific to creating or developing a brand new handheld. So it's a lot of like unique manufacturing design and R&D required to make a small portable gaming device. Whereas the types of portable gaming devices that we have now are like, hey, we've already got a lot of this tablet technology that we can soup up for you for relatively less effort, and you can put that into a unique handheld device. Obviously, that's not to discount what Valve or Asus or whoever it may be has the effort they've put into like optimize that stuff. But the fact that there's multiple portable PC gaming devices now that are very good and very viable is an indication that a company like Sony could come along and use their vast, experience in creating hardware to quickly and relatively cheaply, compared to how much R&D and development of a Vita would have cost, make a portable console or portable handheld. So it is definitely in the realm of possibility. Sony has been burned by portable devices just enough that there could be some people in the upper realms of executive management that are just like, no.
Let's call it a God handheld. And with that, see you on the other side. The state of play is beginning. Thanks, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Asad Kizilbash, Head of Product at PlayStation Studios and Head of PlayStation Productions. I'm one of the newest members of the PlayStation Studios family, Firewalk. This team brings together some of the most talented developers in our industry, with an incredible pedigree in the online multiplayer space. We announced their first game, Concord, last year, and today, they're revealing gameplay captured in-engine on PS5. But first, here's an extended vignette introducing some of the cool characters you'll find in the Concord galaxy. Enjoy.
It was a spontaneous, creative decision made after years of careful research.
Being really old and almost dying a bunch doesn't count as research.
Almost dying is the best way to learn how not to die. Besides, it worked, didn't it?
How much longer for the upload?
Hey, start time. Try it with hot sauce. You'll like it. Trust me.
No. Do not trust him.
Whoa. Where's this coming from?
It's coming from you back on the ship saying, trust me, we're professionals. We'll stick to the plan. We can do this. And then, that was not the plan.
Technically, it was a plan. It just wasn't the same plan that we started with.
If we don't leave with this blue button...
Amar, we will. We will.
I'll be waiting outside.
No one moves. We'll be taking this off your hands.
What? This?
Funny.
Slow them down a little for you. Meet at the rendezvous point.
Wait, what? Where's the rendezvous? I didn't catch that!
Copy that, Bill.
Shield out!
Well played.
You are wounded.
Fine. They only got one of my legs.
How are those hands? How bad is it? You're still mad at me? Got him.
One off. This is you.
Got it.
I am developing a taste for destruction. Goodbye.
This would be a very dishonorable way for us all to die.
Don't worry. Nobody's dying dishonorably. And also, we're bringing this back with us. Hey, Mark. What are you doing?
Getting us to the rendezvous point.
Perhaps we should have let go also.
One off. Do not dare.
But we were supposed to stick together.
If you let go, I swear I will bring vengeance.
Look, there they are. Hi.
What the? I am glad you avoided a dishonorable death.
Almost dying is the best way to learn how not to die. Or something.
I knew this was gonna work.
This wasn't the plan.
No, it just wasn't the one we started with. All right, another satisfied customer. Goods delivered. I send everyone their cut.
Ooh, yeah.
So do you, like, carry it around with you for emergency bland situations or whatever?
Hey, Mara. Don't joke about something like this.
Our next job is somewhere with less
We'll
scaffolding.
have no scaffolding. Zero scaffolding, I promise. We were apart for so long. I thought I'd never feel your fiery embrace again.
You sound ridiculous.
Concord is a 5v5 first-person shooter set in the vibrant sci-fi universe of the Concord galaxy. In Concord, from the moment you log on, you are part of the crew of the North Star, a group of guns for hire known in our galaxy as free gunners. Free gunners are those lucky enough to be free to roam the stars. They take high-stake jobs on worlds across wild space, where they face other fiercely competitive free gunner crews. Here's the very first look at the gameplay of Concord.
Free gunning. It's hard work, but it's our work, and we don't take it for granted. Being a free gunner means, well, you're free.
Right on target. Yeah, you better run.
Free gunners have a shot at making something of themselves, a chance to be someone.
All right! Need a second to fix myself up.
Why not?
And in the wilds, it's anyone's game. You won't survive on your own.
Target blinded.
Finally, to battle. Endless rage!
We risk our lives every day to do the job.
I'll clear the way. Time to show them the big guns. That's me.
This crew will go anywhere. Take any job, face any enemy. We're the free gunner crew of the North Star. And together, we're going to make our mark on this galaxy.
The crew is gathering. Would you like to join us for game night?
With Concord, we lean on the strengths and background of our team to make a tight, well-balanced FPS that feels great to play. We focused a ton of our attention and our tech on building a strong gameplay foundation of tight core movement, precise visceral shooting, and expressive.
We ended up finding ourselves influenced a lot by fighting games and even strategy games in the interesting way that the asymmetry of their characters makes every fight, every matchup feel really different.
Leaning into the asymmetry of the characters, really pushing the possibility space of two different characters colliding. It's all about creating opportunities for improvisation. That's where we can get out of the way and let players find their own magic. We also have abilities that are meant to have impact beyond direct combat. Deployable gear that can persist throughout a full game, so whether that's multiple rounds of a mode or multiple respawns across a match. There are healing pads, bullet blocking domes, explosive traps, lane blocking walls, all kinds of ways to support your team or disrupt your enemies. Coordinated teams can set up and plan ahead, and depending on where and when it happens, players can shift the battlefield to their advantage.
We've got everything from mystics and medics to gunslingers and sparked robots. Every character brings their own unique personality, skills, and wide-ranging perspectives to the crew. Every week, when you log into Concord, you will be welcomed with a new cinematic vignette that will give you a chance to see our characters off the job, feature ongoing narrative arcs that grow the characters' stories and relationships, and unpack the broader Concord galaxy.
Why are you kissing a tchotchke?
We're excited to share that we'll be hosting a pre-launch beta in July, followed by Concord's global launch on August 23rd, 2024.
seem like a calm and reasonable person. Are you? A calm and reasonable person.
You don't really want war, do you, Kratos?
War is coming! The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok.
You will die, Kratos of Sparta.
Death can have me. When it earns me.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
We have guests! They're too fast! Look out!
Fate only binds you if you let it. Do what is necessary. Not because it is written.
Soldiers and officials alike oppress the people for personal gain, and the people must turn to thievery for food. Perhaps this is heaven's way of lamenting the state of the land. Men are powerless at the feet of the divine. But even so, someone must act.
Momo, I think I was dreaming.
It wasn't a dream. We were really transported to Mirrorland!
The path of a stylist is never easy. So, are you ready for it?
Ready!
We're ready! Ready!
Is it you who pursues infinity? Or is infinity awaiting you?
Stars. Feuds. I have seen the miracles you so claim. Until the towering shadows vanished into the mist.
I pray for their grace, but all that came were inferior shades.
We have to bear the
consequences of such power.
Time. War. Mortality. These essences shall not fall into your treacherous hands.
Wayward emissaries, grant us the forgotten miracles. Rain fire from above.
This desolate land needs a sprinkle of madness.
Remember, no matter what happens, we did not betray this world.
I thought I could be a hero and break the curse. But I was a fool. There is no hope here. And the gods that walk among us thirst for death.
Outsider! Your head is mine!
The poison in my veins begs me to kill.
I'll put you in the ground!
The power of our god is immeasurable!
Thought I could be a hero. But heroes don't survive the Forsaken Lands. Only monsters do.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Benson. I'm back on State of Play to introduce more exciting titles coming to PlayStation, starting with a highly anticipated PvP shooter, playable soon on PS5.
All realities converge here. Destiny awaits. Stronger together.
Hell unleashed!
Who needs a power-up? Free fire zone.
Embrace the chaos.
Insignificant pack. Healing power. I'm back, baby! 3, 2, 1, blast off! Gonna get sticky!
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Okay, let's see how mankind has conquered space.
Hello, friends and fans. I'm super excited to welcome all my pals back to the annual Blackwood Winter Getaway.
Oh, nice one.
You can't hide from me, Michael.
Oh, you're going down. Oh!
Save tonight.
It means so much to me that we're all still here together.
Fight the break of dawn. I feel like someone's watching us.
There's no one out there.
Let's make this one trip we will never forget.
Mike, Emily?
I was down there.
You were?
It was horrible.
I don't want to make hasty decisions that get everyone killed. No! We should stay put right here until dawn.
Jessica!
You can't let me die!
Ogham was once a peaceful land, but each day descends further into madness. Famine and plague besiege us. The very earth is being poisoned. The Count's men, once our protectors, have turned on us. And now, they come for me.
Oh, yes, get out of here!
I must be the one to face this nightmare. No noose this time.
I'll remove your head myself!
But I need not do it alone.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I was just...
It's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost. I'm looking for Silent Hill.
I think you should stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it?
Is it dangerous?
Maybe.
I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
I guess I don't really care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going either way.
No, you shouldn't be here. I'll be good, I promise. Tell him I'll be good, please. No, please.
Capcom announced this next game last December, offering just a glimpse of what's in store for their celebrated franchise. Today, I am so excited to share the first full gameplay trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds.
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
This is gonna be great!
You bet.
I hope we find them soon.
Look!
Incredible! I've never heard of a Karatnoth herd this big before.
One of them's got big spikes on its back.
Now to lead it away from the pack. We'll make for the desert.
Right! The sandstorm! Now commencing the hunt by order of the guild.
selected you as a lead hunter for this expedition.
Thank you, sir.
Be sure to visit PlayStation blog for more on the games you just saw, as well as PlayStation.com for the latest on Days of Play. This global celebration runs through June 12th, with deals on PlayStation Store, great new content coming to PlayStation Plus, and much more.
PlayStation.
Welcome. Oh yeah. Well, you might hear a little echo, but that's just because the state of our minds are just reverberating the power of all things. we might have somebody coming. There he is. There they are. Jean-Luc has come to save. If you're just tuning in, we're having a great time.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Jean-Luc, say hi to the camera when you get a chance. Yeah.
Sweet.
Jean-Luc's the best TV control person we got on staff. Anyways, welcome back. I'm Curtin Davina. Joining me is Timur Hussein.
I'm here.
You're here.
I am.
We're just back from the state of
play. State of okay.
State okay. That's
I'm in
what
a state
that's
of okay.
State of okay.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot before the show about consoles and machines and hardwares and not knowing what to see. And they said we were going to see 14 games. And guess what? That is
14 games.
Exactly what we saw.
Yep.
14 games. I counted. And they all got their breathing room.
Yeah.
They all got their moment of shine.
Yeah.
Maybe some more needed than others.
Yeah. Well paced, I think. The games that needed to get a bit of time did. Some of them probably didn't need as much time as they got. Like Concord, I would have probably just cut that entire...
Or God of War Ragnarok PC port.
Yeah, I mean, like, we know what that... I mean, it did have some information in there that was good to us. The development team behind the port is the same one that did the original God of War PC port, which was pretty good, and has worked on a bunch of other titles as well, bringing them to PC. So we know at least that port is going to be in relatively safe hands, which is exciting for a lot of people who haven't played God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, but beyond that, it was kind of a very up and down experience.
Yeah, I mean, let's just get on the list. So I made notes of all the games I saw, and before we get into it, there's a theme. There was a consistent theme.
We have From Software at home.
And we have Overwatch at home.
Yeah.
Those were the two ones where we saw a lot of hero shooters. Or at least, I don't know. Good. What did we saw? We saw Marvel Rivals, Concord, which we already knew about Marvel Rivals anyways.
Yeah.
But Concord was like this very misleading, like, hey, we're going to show you this vignette first, which was a 4-minute cutscene, which I thought was like, wait, don't we have Guardians of the Galaxy?
It is. There's like 1-for-1 Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I made a note. It's like there's the soft brute guy.
Yep, Drax is in there.
We have the snarky hot-headed guy.
Rocket Raccoon's in there.
We have the clear-headed leader, straight lace, leader girl.
Yeah, Star-Lord is there.
Yep.
It's like they swapped Star-Lord for Gamora's character being the leader in this one, which is like fine, okay, whatever. Yeah. But Marvel writing team has a lot to answer for because that was like basically a scene from Marvel-ass movie, which in this day and age, I think people have rapidly soured on it. So unfortunate that by the time that game comes out, people are going to be like, we hate this.
I mean,
some people love it.
Don't forget, it's a vignette.
It's a vignette, yeah.
So in that case, like the actual, I don't think it's matter at all when the actual game comes out. You're it's going to be 5v5, hero shooter, Overwatch meets Valorant.
Yeah.
It's going to be Valorant on console. So let's, if Valorant comes to console anytime
it's going to be a big fight if that happens.
Concord might want to look out.
Yeah, I guess like it serves, to my mind, there was nothing in there that excited me. What I came away from watching that was I can see the function this serves within the Sony ecosystem. The company that recently said we're going all in on live service, lifestyle style games.
Day and date. That was the main thing that Herman Hulst said is like, we're going to do our single player games. That's going to be exclusive to our consoles. That's going to be the thing that is still ours. But our live service games is going to be day and date PC.
And this is very much one of those games. And Bungie has one cooking. A few other studios, no doubt, probably have some cooking. So unenthused by what it is. Still, I like hero shooters. I played a crazy amount of Overwatch. Played a lot of Valorant. Gonna check out Marvel Rivals. We'll see how that goes. But I'm not like champing at the bit to play that game.
Yeah, it serves a portfolio.
Yeah, it's a portfolio move, and I hope it works out for them. I hope it's good as well. I would love for it to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it, but right now I'm not like, this is my most anticipated game. I'm sure there are people out there who are like, this is my most anticipated game. Ain't me though.
You're a Valorant Overwatch freak. So
Yeah,
I mean, I've put in so many hours in Overwatch in my days. I used to be a Counter-Strike.
I was a Counter-Strike boy as well.
Freak. That's a deep cut, lower Kurt thing. But I didn't go into Valorant, not yet at least. Now I have a PC, so maybe I'll consider it.
I'll see you there.
Oh my god. Something new at least was, or at least a return. We saw Dynasty Warriors, which I think
Origins.
this might be. I'm sorry if I'm wrong to the world. It might be the first like true next generation.
I
Dynasty
think so.
Warriors games
based on what we saw as well, it looked like they had they were using beefier hardware.
Yeah.
To do. Right at the start, there's one moment where every character on the screen looked like they synchronized in animation.
Yeah, that's because
I was like, whoa.
That's because they're so they're so trained,
synchronized.
Yeah, they've gone through so much.
But yeah,
so much training.
I am very glad that there's a new Dynasty Warriors game. Like I always jump in and play Musou games for a little bit. They are those games that you can just have on your console or your platform of choice and jump into and just be like, I'm gonna wail on 8,000 people for half an hour, and then I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yep.
And you know what?
That's how I get ready for bed.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Walk into a field.
Ready to confront Lubu.
Smack the shit out of people. Yeah. I mean, the only one I really know of, the last most recent ones were like the Hyrule Warriors, and there was also the Fire Emblem one as well.
Those are great as well. Like they had, and there was it?
They were good.
Forgetting there was a Persona one or something like that. Right?
Oh, there was a Persona one. Come on, you would know that at all.
I forgot about it.
But then there was like some interesting things trickled in. I mentioned earlier the portfolio filler. At first, Infinity Nikki.
I did love that name.
Infinity Nikki. I mean, like I watched it, I was like, I'm really happy this is a thing that exists. I'm always like, I feel like games have become so damn serious that they've moved on from an audience of people who still need like good games, and that's younger generations, that's younger folk, and they get those games, but they're usually not
indie games.
They're not good.
They're not great.
Like they're like, or they're licensed something or another. So it's like, oh, this looks like a AAA kind of attempt at a kids game until the very last shot.
Yeah, where it's like
turned into like
this woman just like chained up in a crucifix style stance, where it's like, oh, okay, this is
it was like we went from.
I mean, like it was throughout of it. It is a game of weird contrasts, right? Like that is one example of it. But the visually, it's like has this cutesiness to it, but then everything is like rendered with like Unreal Engine gloss and like details. So you're like, what is this? What is the vibe here? The vibe's very strange. And it feels like a mishmash of different aesthetics. And these days, that is the kind of thing that works for a lot of people. The everything game, as I like to call it.
Oh my God.
Like Genshin is one of those games. Like Genshin has perhaps more uniformity and consistency.
Your anime art style.
Yeah.
Your Breath of the Wild
exactly.
esque things.
It's a versatile kind of palette that you can continuously add all kinds of wacky things to and never feel like incongruous with anything else. Like they could add a fantasy world to this and it'll be like, yep, this fits in.
Infinity wacky. Yep. Infinity Nikki.
Infinity nonsense.
Then there was a few, like this is where we kind of go into like the FromSoft. Like I made notes in these games and I'm having trouble visualizing them. And one of them was Ballad of Antara, which was a game with swords. And fantasy and like it was cool looking, but it also seemed like
it is very much that kind of From Software by way of Team Ninja style game.
You thought it was a Team Ninja game?
I thought it was a Team Ninja game. It looked like another one of those Neo style games. But yeah, it's hard to say whether it's, again, like I'm not super enthused about it. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it, but there was nothing in there that made me think this is a twist on something that we know of in the way that something like Lies of P was or something like that. It doesn't distinguish itself in any way from either the From Software side or the action game side. It definitely had some really like cool moments or like moments that are like boss fights or something like that in there that caught my eye. So I'm not writing it off by any means. I don't write any games off, but yeah, there are a lot of games that failed to really grab me, and I just kind of went, yep, that is a game that will be released and perhaps could be good and some people will like. So yeah.
And it feels, again, it's like we got to see a new From Soft style Soulsborne.
Yeah, but with like
that is it? I don't know if it's an exclusive. I don't know if that was clear.
I think it just had the PlayStation logo on it.
Yeah. So. I mean, they're not going to show like coming to
Xbox.
Yeah, why even bother? So that's always something to be reminded of. It's like this is just an ability to showcase these games.
Yeah.
With PlayStation's little fingerprints on them first. So, but like. Sure, we had some VR stuff. No announcement of PSVR2 maybe having a dongle for the PC.
No, nothing that. So for now, at least, it looks like you can only play those games on a PlayStation 5, which doesn't really do anything to change the fortunes of PlayStation VR
or the fortunes of VR
or even like it's not going to be a shot in the arm to PlayStation 5 sales. There's very little that has shifted in the landscape of PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah.
I mean, like those games looked cool.
Big game. There was Behemoth.
Behemoth looks really cool.
Big game, big guys.
Big guys.
And
yeah.
in the midst of big guys, there's a one clip where the player like sliced a dude's face off,
Yeah.
and it looked like a bad scene from Equilibrium.
Lovely.
Like when he's slicing.
Give me more of that.
Yeah, and like just a clean ham sliced deli slice of a face on in a game.
Hot knife through butter.
yeah. So, oh my god, if I could like put my swords in a
Souffle?
vat, and if I could put my swords into a cake and then just chow down. What are we even doing here? I don't need to slice faces off. If I could fight a giant cake.
That's what we need. We need a cooking game that is like a FromSoft style cooking game, where you're like circling, strafing around ingredients, and then cutting them down.
I mean, that's basically
Life Bar. It's just quiche.
It's Iron Chef the game. I would say is basically. But I was hoping that I could play the
play as the behemoth.
Well, that would also be great.
That would be awesome.
But the behemoth game where you're like in the behemoth's kitchen. You get to see their giant food.
So we make our own fun.
Their big food, and then you slice through like a sword through hot butter. Hot sword through butter. But there was another game called Where Winds Meet, which was another one of those like sort of FromSoft, sort of like we have our
they blur together in my mind.
Yeah, that's why when I was talking about them, I was like, we saw more than one. Like they were there, fantasy and swords. But this is where I was saying earlier, where there's like some things that had less time, but as you mentioned, had good information. So for example, like Until Dawn, it's like there was one of those moments where I was like, Until Dawn rules. I love that game, but it was great when it came out, and it was like, like, well, what are we doing? Why
I mean, like, it wasn't on PC,
but that's the main.
That's the thing. It's like we're putting it on PC. We might as well do the extra work to put it back on a PlayStation platform, and it makes sense from a business perspective. Doesn't compel me.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
It was just filling time.
It's like that quote, was it? Don't understand it. Compels me though, but in reverse.
Yeah. If it's
don't understand it. Doesn't compel me though.
Yeah. So we'll start using that one. State of Okay. What was it? Compels me.
Yeah. Doesn't compel me though.
Already lost it. What I was going to say was something important.
The one thing I will say right now is I'll jump in while you're figuring your life out.
Figure this out.
Not the best selection or like placement of games, you know what I mean? Like there was a stretch where a bunch of games, like we said, blurred into each other. It feels like there's usually a little more curation that happens with these showcases, where it's like, we have this type of game, let's not feature another two of these types of games. Let's mix it up, have something else in there. It doesn't seem like they did as good a job of that now. They kind of like shoved a bunch of games in that are very similar looking in close proximity, so now all of them bleed together. Yeah, which is a shame. I know like a lot of these teams spend a lot of time and effort in trying to make that happen, so maybe it just didn't work out.
But it's it's also like it's just tough when all you see is the trailer.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You see like curated gameplay in such a way, and it's like so difficult to be like, what am I looking at? Which is one of the reasons why when it started with Concord, and we saw like 4 minutes of
Guardians of the
Galaxy Volume 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this game? Like, what is it? Like, it's
and then it cut to a game that did not look anything like that. I know that.
I would have never been, I would have maybe thought like hero shooter powers. Yeah. But not like 5v5 hero shooter.
I tweeted it, but like, and I also, we've been doing this for decades now. The like in-engine pre-rendered cutscene that then goes into gameplay. I don't think it's been more jarring than it is now, where it's like, this looks like pristine CGI, and it cuts to a 5v5 hero-based
60
shooter
frames per second,
that looks like a hero-based shooter, and you're just like, damn, that was jarring to go there. And it's also kind of weird when these games have a narrative-driven introduction that then goes into
it's a multiplayer
just kill
game.
These people.
It's a multiplayer
it's very, very weird state of affairs that we're in right now.
Yeah, I agree. I remembered what I was going to say earlier. It's not important, but I was basically going to make a joke, being like, if they cut out Until Dawn, it could have been just 30 minutes instead of 30 plus, but whatever. All right.
Yeah.
That's a callback to like an hour ago, so apologize everyone.
Go back and watch the pre-show, and you will find that joke hilarious.
You'll be like, wow.
You'll be like, damn, that was
Kurt is so funny. So there's a few things we're going to run through, because there's games we've already known about. Passive Exile 2, we knew about it. It's cool to see it's coming to consoles. It's going to be early access or like late 2024. We had, of course, I mentioned Until Dawn. We got to see a big old chunk of Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, a game that will no doubt do very well.
Will always do well.
Monster Hunter World did really well, and it was popular, brought in a big new audience to Monster Hunter.
That was the first big shift in that in that
exactly.
game.
And they only get better with those games. Like, they get better at executing them. Some, diehard Monster Hunter fans might not like the kind of tweaks that are being made to them, but the one thing you can say is, like, they're always well-constructed games. Whether your glaive still works the same or whatever, it is a different matter altogether. But I'm excited for that game. I'm excited to see what they do with it now that they have they're on PS5 now, which I don't think, was World on PS5? I can't remember.
Unless I got a magic pour while we were asleep. I don't know.
But yeah, like I like the open world approach that they did with the last major console Monster Hunter. And they've also put out that Switch one that had a little more mobility to it and was really satisfying. So I'm excited to see what they do here.
And it's also Capcom. Capcom's just been
hitting
on fire recently. And then there's two,
except for the fact that they haven't remade God Hand. Grow up.
Yeah, what happened? But they were flashing that in between PSVR2 subliminal messaging. Two last games I want to talk about, though. I don't even really. I'll just let you talk about it. Silent Hill 2.
I don't like to shit on people's work, as it could be great, could be fantastic. Can't say that was the best outing for that game.
We got a release date.
Yeah, we got a release date. It looked kind of rough. I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt. My bigger concern is I'm not convinced. I am convinced that that game does not work in this day and age.
I always called it the new metal, like the new metal horror game of that era. Like, I mean, and I mean that literally. Like the music, like the vibe, like the whole thing. It was like it was at this turn of event, like in the early 2000s, where like things just got like grimy and gross. And like,
it was
like, I don't know, it felt appropriate.
It felt like where Resident Evil was like this almost cinematic take on like, or like a Hollywood take on the survival horror genre. This felt like the art house. Silent Hill felt like the art house indie flick that worked with the constraints of the hardware in mind to create an atmosphere and leaned into the idiosyncrasies of the genre to make it at times annoying to play, but still fascinating. I don't think that works in this day and age.
Yeah.
The genre has evolved so many times in so many significant ways that it feels like it kind of takes the edge off what that was. Like, I watched that trailer and it was both not the best looking, but also too detailed.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, oh, I can't see through this fog. I'm like, what's going on?
My main thing is like, I just get it out. Like, let's just like, I'm glad that it's got a release date. I'm glad it's in people's hands.
I will say, I'm glad that they're doing it so we can move on from it. Like, and it's kind of like the last Silent Hill 2 release was that HD one, which is apocalyptically bad on the consoles it was released on. It was like a joke, and it remains a joke. So at least we'll have this out of our system. I hope and pray that it's good and we come away from it being like, oh, did not expect it to be good. And we look back on it being like, man, what happened with that PlayStation state of play where it looked so weird? The game is actually incredible. Fingers crossed for that.
The point I was going to make was I'm not comparing these to other remakes, but there is something to be said about how
Resident Evil claps its cheeks, man.
What I'm trying to say is how Resident Evil remakes manage to bring these gameplay elements that are like timeless, right? And make them accessible or approachable with modern capabilities, with modern graphics, and then there's like tweaks to the story that make it even better. And it's like, it's very approachable for new players who have no context of Resident Evil. I really think anybody can take their hands and play Resident Evil 2 and just, it can be new. That can be your introduction. I'm concerned that Silent Hill 2 remake, I don't know if it's actually serving a new audience. And based on what I'm seeing, and the reason why I say that is because when I was watching that trailer, I realized how many games have since adopted that exact thing, trying to be a Silent Hill follow-up, that now that we're getting like a legit actual remake of Silent Hill, it's like, it's almost like I look at it and I'm like, I've seen this
Yeah.
now 800 million times.
I think
over,
of it
like,
as in the way that I think of Akira, the
Yep.
movie, where it's like it was a masterpiece and it remains a masterpiece, but it's so influential that every frame of that movie has been like used as inspiration for various forms of media, to the point where if you showed that movie to someone fresh, never seen it before in this day and age, it would look like a facsimile of a bunch of different media they have seen over the years, like put into one thing.
Yeah.
It is Silent Hill 2 will always be one of the greatest games of all time. In that time period, in that era, it was unbelievable. It's hard to, now that we look at it, I knew Silent Hill has a better chance of making an impact than a remake of the original. I know everyone always wanted a Silent Hill 2 remake. I'm looking at it now being like, probably should have just done a Silent Hill whatever.
We'll move on because I'm not.
We are survival horror fans, though. So it's not like we're going to be like, we're not going to play this.
Yeah,
and also, like, again, we want this to be. I hope and pray I end up looking like an idiot.
But like my point still, because it's still, this is probably the most we've really seen of the game. We like see the new face of what the guy, and he's not like,
man looks like he ran into a wall multiple times.
I mean, first it went from the guy in the mirror, who was like this. Now it went to like.
What's all that the other characters character? Is she all right?
I know that no one's all right. No one's all right. But
Hill.
yeah, that was the thing that stood out to me the most. Now that we've seen the game, it was one of those concerning things, being like, this really does not look
great,
new. And anyway, so we'll see. October 8th, 2024. It was suspected to come out last year. It didn't happen, so at least we know this year. And the last thing, closed out. Big old bang for the kids and the adults and the people.
And the adults that love
and the people who love this. Astrobot. I didn't even see the name.
Is it just called Astrobot?
I don't know. I was honestly.
I was so excited at Astrobot. I just was running around in circles and missed the.
So we saw a lot of.
We saw every beloved PlayStation franchise represented in Astrobot. The God of War was there. The Journey was there. Uncharted, whatever it may be.
They showed every console.
They showed all the consoles. They showed the controller turning into a spaceship. They didn't show that one franchise that everyone loves from the PlayStation 4.
The one franchise that is not on PC.
Yeah.
All Uncharted on PC, God of War on PC.
The one franchise that carried that console for a little while, for a long time. Like, I don't know her. What is Bloodborne? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, at this point, I think a lot of people have been like annoyed if they did put like a hunter in there.
Oh yeah, no, I think it would do. I think it would do way more damage.
Yeah, exactly.
If all of a sudden, like, Astrobot put on his hat and put on a saw cleaver, and but no announcement of Bloodborne.
I also feel like that would be like the Sony has the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now, and they would do it, and I would be like, I respect that they did that. But yeah, I mean, like, Astrobot, incredibly charming. Sony was in dire need of a mascot. Again, not dire need, but like, they had other.
I mean, Sackboy is kind of,
Sackboy's done.
Taking a back seat.
Nate is who knows what he's doing right now.
Enough
we're getting
grizzled
more
guys.
Aloy than anyone can handle right now. So, but it's good to see like Astrobot getting some time in the spotlight. The original that came with the PlayStation 5, genuinely fun, charming game. I'm glad that they're spinning it out, and based on what we saw, looks like it's jam-packed full of ideas. Which is going to be really cool. Of the games that are shown, that is the one I'm most excited about. And it won't be long before we play it. I'm excited for it. Interesting that they didn't say like it's got PlayStation VR parts. Not expecting it, but
you would definitely think, right? I mean, wasn't the PS4 VR? Didn't that have an Astrobot game?
I don't think so. I would just the standpoint I come from is like it doesn't look like they're trying to do the thing where it's like we're gonna take every opportunity to try and link these together.
If there was any character you can just do it comfortably with,
Astrobot
it's just like
but. Maybe it comes out later. It's like, we got a VR update.
Yeah, gotcha.
And everyone's like,
you put on the VR headset and it's a Bloodborne VR, and you're completely teleported somewhere else. Well, I mean, state of okay. It filled out the portfolio. We got some Overwatches. We got some From Sophists. Some Frostborns.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell I just said. But this is a good. I'll say this. It's a good lead up to a great next couple of weeks. So I think this will be a good moment to get that going, to get the juices going. That was like Summer Game Fest is coming, Play Days is coming.
This feels like they just like turned the engine on and they just like revving the car a bit just to get the warmth going.
They inadvertently they're just exciting everyone else. They're building inadvertently the excitement for everything else. It's going to be announced.
I have hopes for whatever happens during SGF. I'm sure they're going to have some announcements around then, and I imagine that there will be some cool things happening later on. I hope anyway. I have no confirmation. I'm not leaking anything, but like, I feels like the setup to a knockdown. I hope.
Yeah, we need it. In general, keep the hopes up.
In life, generally.
In life, we need it. We need it. We need it. Okay. I think that's going to be it for us today.
Yeah.
To those of you who tuned in, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us as we do a warm-up for Summer Game Fest.
I think you were probably like, as we start doing jumping jacks. I think you're going to be like, get them to start going.
We're just getting the juices flowing,
snaps,
the vibes going.
Snaps.
So we'll be back next week.
Yeah, that said, if you're here and you're watching right now, you're gonna find me, Kurt Davina. You're gonna find Tamar Hussein. You're gonna find Lucy James, who's there's a space between us. That's where she would have been.
She's down there.
she's
just writing stuff on the floor.
She's taking notes for everything we're gonna be doing for next week. So tune in, stay here, hang out with us, have fun. I don't know, be well,
enjoy your gaming.
Enjoy your gaming.